excited beyond words to announce our purchase of the Atlanta Thrashers.
Let the celebrations begin as the painfully long, drawn-out process is finally over. The National Hockey League is back in Winnipeg. Hey, I'm Kevin Jesus, and it is a historic night in Canada, a night where dreamers are now believers. After leaving the city of Winnipeg 15 years ago, the NHL is back as the Atlanta Thrashers have relocated to the Manitoba capital. Russ Hobson kicks off our comprehensive coverage with a look at the type of team Winnipeg can expect to see at the MTS Center, a franchise with a solid young nucleus to build around. Two teams, one goal, winning the Stanley Cup. For the Boston Bruins, it's something they haven't done since 1972, while the Vancouver Canucks are still searching for their first championship since joining the NHL 40 years ago. Tonight, one of them would be one step closer. All eyes, of course, on the goaltenders. Roberto Luongo 1 year ago won Olympic gold with Canada in Vancouver, looking to add Stanley to his collection. Tim Thomas with other ideas, however. Thomas, coming off a shutout in Game 7 of the East Final against Tampa Bay, picks up where he left off. A couple of big saves early in this game. Now, just as the first period comes to an end, some pushing and shoving near the Bruins goal between Alex Burrows and Patrice Bergeron. This could lead to either a suspension, but more than likely just a fine against Burrows. Looks clear to me that he takes a bite out of Bergeron's finger, who then shows it to the refs, hoping to get some sort of call. There would be no call. Second period, bad news for the Canucks. Dan Hamhuis with a picture-perfect hip check on Milan Lucic, but Hamhuis appears to injure himself, and he would not return. Skip it to the third period, still scoreless. Henrik Sedin to Brother Dangle, up to Burrows. Tim Thomas shuts the door, and they keep coming. Alex Edler sprung loose. Could he be the hero? Not so fast. Thomas again with a huge save. Edler looking 5-hole. Thomas says, I don't think so. It's an unreal performance tonight. And you can also thank his crossbar. 5 minutes to go in the game. Edler with another big chance. Nothing but iron. Agonizingly close to scoring the first goal of this game. Overtime looming. 19 seconds to go. Raffi Torres, mucho grande. What a goal. His third of the playoffs. Arguably the biggest of his life. The Vancouver Canucks finally solved Tim Thomas. They win Game 1.
This is something we have to do. The troops are coming back from Afghanistan, and what we don't want is them to be forgotten.
Not forgotten, nor will they ever forget. Friday, September 2nd, the Huskies football team with a chance to give back, say thanks, in a night where they support the troops.
There's lots of troops in and around Saskatoon, out at Dundurn, and at the base in Moose Jaw and around the province that have served in Afghanistan or served in Iraq, and it's a great opportunity for us to honor them.
This thing, it's huge to give back and to support to those guys because they're what that makes Canada safe, right? Like we're a great country, and they're doing our country a huge solid by doing that.
So often people use terms associated with war when describing football. Battle in the trenches, do or die, going to war. Well, they're just words on the gridiron. It's reality on the front lines, which really puts that home opener into perspective.
We're out here playing a game, I mean, and it's fun, but, you know, those guys are putting their lives on the line and, you know, going somewhere, you know, where, you know, their families aren't, and putting all their trust into other guys that they're with and stuff. And I mean, on a small scale, you know, we're doing something similar, but I mean, it's not nearly, you know, to the amount that they're doing. So I mean, it really motivates you to, you know, go out there and play hard.
The Huskies will use specially designed camouflage jerseys in honor of the troops in Afghanistan, and unlike traditional nameplates, these will use words from the Canadian Forces ethos and ethics: duty, integrity, courage, honor, loyalty, country, and service.
It's about team. It's not about you as an individual. And for a team like ours to be able to say that's the same way we function, we don't need our names on our jerseys. Having integrity, honor, commitment, sacrifice on our jerseys says something about our program too, and it also pays great tribute to our troops.
Huskies fullback Alex Balogan showing off the specially designed uniforms this afternoon. The Support the Troops theme has a special meaning for the 22-year-old. In addition to football, he served with the North Saskatchewan Regiment for the last 4 years as a reservist.
I've had very close friends serve in Afghanistan, and having a jersey like this just pays a very great honor to their sacrifice over there and members of our unit that have given their lives in Afghanistan.
Henry Gizmo Williams, one of the greatest players in Canadian Football League history. He overcame a lot, including many who said he'd never make it thanks to his 5'6" frame.
Notre Dame wouldn't take me, and they didn't take me because of my talent. They said I was too small. Penn State wouldn't take me. Michigan State wouldn't take me. I went to Kansas. I went to UCLA.
Those naysayers partly motivating him to succeed.
My teachers didn't think I'd make it. My coaches kind of knew I did, but a lot of my teachers say, you know what, you're too small. You're not going to make it in the university, you know. And in a way, I didn't play football because people said I couldn't play. I played because that's what I wanted to do.
But not only would he have to overcome adversity on the field, but off it as well. His mother died when he was 5. He lost 7 siblings and 4 nieces and nephews, all to multiple sclerosis.
People ask me, are you scared? I think yes and no, I am scared. I don't like to show fear.
But even the fearless have moments of weakness. For Gizmo, it was when his oldest brother passed away just before he turned pro.
The only time I showed weakness in my life or MS when I had to go see him in the hospital. That's the only time it broke me down. He was like my father. That's the only guy I know as my father. He was the guy that raised me, taught me discipline, taught me respect, and to see him going through that, I couldn't go back to see him no more. I told my sister-in-law when he passed, that's when I go see him. And after he passed, that's when I felt better.
No one in his family has lived past the age of 35. Gizmo Williams will turn 49 at the end of May.
You can't sit there and hinder your life thinking about when is it going to happen or what I'm going to do with my life. You might as well live your life because you don't know when it's going to happen. You never know.
And that's how he lives life, one day at a time. It's been said when your head and heart is consumed with fear, you'll have no room for dreams. It's why Gizmo speaks across North America, reminding kids, young athletes, and those with MS to continue to dream, to continue to fight.
This is the greatest collapse in the history of the World Junior.
A loss no one saw coming, especially after Canada's solid start to the game.
Foligno sends it in fast.
Up 3-0 through 40, it appeared Canada would capture the gold.
You know, we were seeing real positive in the second intermission there, and I thought we came out really well at the start of the third and killed off a big penalty there, and momentum was kind of going back and forth, and then they got that one goal, and that just really set us back.
Which just may be the understatement of the year.
And Dvorchinski's in comes Dvorchinski, scores! Nikita Dvorchinski.
5 unanswered goals in the third period. Canada shell-shocked as Russia stuns the Canadians to win the World Junior Hockey Championships. So what went wrong?
To be honest with you, I was just like thinking on the plane, and I don't know what happened. It's almost like the guys were saying last night that the third period was just a blur. I don't even remember. It was just they had 10 shots and we had 9 shots, and they had 5 goals, and it was just I guess it wasn't meant to be.
We got a little too high, I think, after the second period, and we took our foot off the gas. And obviously the Russians took advantage of it, in every chance they got, and the momentum shifted, and we could even feel it on the bench. So. It's a terrible feeling, and I don't even know if it's sunk in yet.
Making it worse for some players, it's now back-to-back heartbreaking finishes, back-to-back silver medals.
I think this year feels a lot worse than last year, just because last year in the final, I think the USA was outplaying us. We were just hanging in there, but this year we dominated that game, and it seems like they played one period and seemed to be able to win the game, obviously, and so it feels a lot worse that we were so close and couldn't get our goal.
Familiar faces in familiar places. A new look. Team Simmons back in the Tankard Final for the first time since 2009. Carl DeConnick-Smith skipping his first Tankard Final with help from some former members of Team Simmons. Inside the North Battleford
Civic Center, site of the 2011 SaskTel Provincial Men's Tankard. Hello everyone, my name is Kevin Jesus, and thank you for joining us here on SaskTel Max, local on demand, and what a final we have for you today. It is the rubber match between Team Simmons and Team DeConnick Smith. Carl DeConnick Smith with the victory in the A final, Pat Simmons with the win in the A-B page playoff to earn a bye into today's championship game. With more on today's game, we go upstairs to the men who will be calling the shots, Heath Mulligan and the two-time tankard champion and 2009 World Singer Men's champion, Eugene Hritzik.
Hi, I'm Kevin Jesus, and we are live from the Jewel of the Prairies, the Auto Clearing Motors Speedway, for the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series Velocity Prairie Thunder 250. Boy, that's a mouthful. My goodness, we're in for a wonderful night of racing. This is the third year the event has been here. Scott Steckley won the first event back in 2009, thanks to DJ Kennington lending him his engine. Kennington was rewarded for his generosity by taking the checkered flag first last year, so it should be pretty interesting. The rubber match, if you will. It'll come down to the two of them as they're both 1-2 in the standing.
What a great bunch of guys, very deserving. They were close in 88, 89, and then to finally achieve their goal in 90 was pretty special.
It's bizarre to me that it was 20 years ago. It seems like yesterday in certain respects, and then in other respects it seems like a lifetime ago.
The rise to prominence actually started back in 1984 when Brian Towers took over the University of Saskatchewan Huskies as head coach. Now, it took about 3 years to build up a proper coaching staff and continuity within the program, but they were soon rewarded with a trip to the Canada West Final in 1988, and then their first ever Vanier Cup appearance in 1989, a loss to Western which fueled their desire to win.
We made some mistakes. I think there may have been a little bit of stage fright, but certainly it did set the stage and establish what those kids wanted to do. They knew that they were good enough to win after that.
And win they did, the Huskies, with a 6-2 record in 1990. They beat UBC to win the Hardy Cup, disposed of Bishops in the Churchill Bowl before setting their sights on the St. Mary's Huskies at the 26th Vanier Cup.
Olsen and Sander in motion. Here's Simchuk. Simchuk up the middle, and Simchuk is going to slide up and get in for the touchdown.
The Huskies took an early 14-0 lead before the only three-time Heck Crichton Award winner Chris Flynn led St. Mary's on a comeback.
And he's got 8 blockers in front of him over here if he wants to run. He stops and throws to Nealon at the 5. Touchdown! What a play by Chris Flynn!
An epic battle with an ending only Hollywood could script.
I'm getting shivers right now.
Saskatchewan up 24-21. Chris Flynn driving St. Mary's downfield.
36 seconds to play. It's all on the line here. He throws to Nealon. First down, Matt Nealon, they're still alive.
It might have taken, one more first down or even less than that for them to have a chance at victory.
26 seconds to go. St. Mary's 37 yards away from victory.
You speak about the emotions that surround that drive, and they are as fresh in my mind as yesterday.
None of us were watching it. We were all sitting on the sideline on the bench basically with our heads down, couldn't watch.
But he's 26 seconds away from something. He rolls out. Now he's going to drop the ball. Saskatchewan, if they pick it up, they'll win it. Now they drop the ball. It's still free. Saskatchewan's got it. The Saskatchewan Huskies will win the Vanier Cup.
You saw the player, and it was
Bristol comes from the backside.
it was just a play that happened. I happened to get open, and we just made the big hit. It was I was just lucky that he didn't see me coming, and the ball popped loose, and someone jumped on it, and it was a play that goes down in history.
As soon as we saw that ball spill out, I think our whole sideline erupted because we knew that we were going to be national champions then.
In that instant, you're just ecstatic, obviously, because of the realization that something you work so hard for is going to actually happen. When you know that the chances of it happening are so slim, it's not an easy game to win. It's not easy to get there, and it takes a pretty great team to win it.
A great team that paved the way for the Husky football program on their pursuit of excellence.